I hunched over my radio console, scanning frequencies for any sign of distress. The static was endless, a cacophony of white noise that numbed my senses. Then a faint whisper emerged, a voice that sent shivers down my spine. The voice was mine, yet it wasn't. It was a recording, a message from a future self, screaming in terror. My mind reeled as I tried to comprehend the impossible coordinates: 43.7232, 122.3854. A location that didn't exist on any map. I tried to respond, to ask questions, but the voice just repeated, a haunting loop of fear and desperation. I felt like I was losing my grip on reality, torn between the present and a future that seemed to be unraveling before my eyes. The signal grew stronger, the voice more urgent. I became obsessed, poring over maps and charts, searching for any clue that could explain the impossible. My colleagues grew concerned, but I couldn't shake the feeling that I was on the cusp of something profound. Then, the signal began to distort, the voice warping into an otherworldly scream. I felt the air thicken, the shadows coalesce into twisted, living things. I knew I was being pulled into a realm beyond our own, a realm where time was fluid and sanity was a luxury. I tried to shut down the console, to sever the connection, but it was too late. The voice had become a part of me, echoing in my mind, taunting me with visions of a future that was both familiar and yet utterly alien. The room began to spin, the shadows deepening into an abyss. I stumbled, fell, and when I looked up, I saw myself, standing in the doorway, my eyes black as coal, my skin grey as the stone. The voice was silent, but I knew I was staring into the face of my own damnation. The figure began to move towards me, its presence suffocating, crushing. I tried to scream, but my voice was trapped in my throat, silenced by some unseen force. The darkness closed in, a living, breathing entity that consumed me whole. And then, there was nothing. No sound, no light, no sense of self. I was erased, consumed by the very signal that had driven me to the brink of madness. The last thing I heard was my own voice, whispering a single, haunting phrase: "I'm still here, waiting for you."